A man's personality and character is exuded through his haircut. Your image is important. Our high-end services range from a traditional haircut and shave to gray blending, beard shaping, and unwanted hair removal. Located at 425 Victoria Avenue East. Book your appointment online now at modernmen.ca or call Tammy, 306-522-4111. Modern Men, a haircut for the modern man.
Hello, I'm Sean McNall, owner of TG Marketing. We are a promotional product company located in Regina, Saskatchewan. Originally founded by Tom G. McNall in 1985, we are now in our 35th year of business. My brother Ryan and I, along with our great staff, have carried the torch since Tom retired in 2011. For those of you who don't know what we do, we sell items with a company's logo on it, like clothing, pens, phone chargers, Bluetooth speakers. The list of products available is endless. Our products are a great form of advertising. Whether you want to give a gift to a valued client or show your appreciation to your staff, we have a friendly team that can help find the right product for your needs. The key to our success has been our customer service and our vast knowledge of products in our industry. We ask the right questions to get you in line with the proper product for the project you are working on. Stop by 1046 Winnipeg Street and view our showroom. Get some ideas for that next promotion you're working on. Let's make your business what everyone's talking about.
Ron Duguay started following me last night. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
These guys here, the guys with the full heads of hair, don't even know. What did you call him? Ron Duguay? Like, who's this Ron Duguay? This guy was Bon Jovi before there was Bon Jovi, okay? Good guy, Ron Duguay. He's coming up next week.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
It is. Happy Thursday, everybody. It's a show for good guys and good gals.
Yes.
Welcome to Canada's daytime sports talk show, coming at you with episode number 435 out of the bunker. Full disclaimer, we are coming to you from Western Canada. We got another one, Dupes.
Okay.
I had a guy in New York last night ask me to go on his show, and he wants to line it up for next week. He says, let's do it at 5. He thinks we're in Toronto. The Eastern people? You people in the East? Just think everybody's in the East.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Should I tell them? Psst, we're in the western part of the continent. Or I don't know why they think that.
It's where everything originates from. There's nothing that happens out here.
Well, that's the truth. So I'll just roll with it. And go with Eastern time. Where does noon Eastern? Good afternoon to our friends on the eastern part of North America. We're going to be talking a lot of hockey today. We've got 13-year NHL veteran at current Columbus Blue Jackets scout, and I still think Sportsnet Flames analyst Rich Sutter joining us in Hour 1 from sunny Lethbridge, Alberta. And in Hour 2, the Slapshot SweetHearts. And I got to tell you, these girls are taking the world by storm. Meg will be joining us, and Shannon. They are in Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles, and we'll be talking NHL with them, and they're very excited, and they represent the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network in America. So a lot of hockey talk.
That's exciting.
But we're not covering all hockey in the Quick Six show topics. Please hit it, Director Jordan, if you don't mind. Why do I feel like I'm not set and ready to go? We've been sitting here chewing the fat for half an hour, 40 minutes, but I'm not ready. My NHL leftovers from last night. They're very upset up in Edmonton. Did you notice?
I've heard. I've been following.
I switched it last night from the Oilers getting spanked by the Leafs. I flipped over to watch Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights, have their way with the Minnesota Wild last night. But I saw enough. I saw enough in the first 2 periods of the Oilers game. So here are my leftovers from last night. Hashtag free McDavid. And I say that tongue-in-cheek. I'm not saying trade Connor McDavid, but when are you guys going to figure this out in Edmonton? Like, this has got more ups and downs than a roller coaster at the West Edmonton Mall.
I know.
Right? Like, some teams are steadily they suck. Some teams steadily they're good. And the Leafs are just up and down. Or the Oilers up and down and up and down. Like, come on, you guys. I can't handle... Can you imagine being an Oilers fan?
I can't.
Not like you Leafs fans don't have enough baggage of your own.
We know what it's like.
But just when you think they turned the corner, like they weren't even in those games with Toronto. They weren't even in them. And I got Oilers fans this morning saying, oh, free McDavid, you're losing credibility fast. Did you see the kid after the game last night? He just looks hopeless. And Dave Tippett said, very concerning. Very concerning what's going on with the Edmonton Oilers. And I just feel like it's like, in Edmonton, it's like your little brother. Not that I have one, but I've been a little brother. You can kick the crap out of him yourself, but if somebody else touches him, you're dead. Right? So in Edmonton, it's like, we can pick on the Oilers, but not you. I don't know where they go from here.
I know. It's such a tough spot.
And then our buddy Jug texted us. He's like, here's their next schedule. Ottawa, Calgary, whatever it is. I'm like, oh, good. That's the cure. Let's just beat up on bad teams. Newsflash, that doesn't make you any better. So I didn't mean to get hung up on the Oilers here, but that was my first leftover. Unbelievable what's going on there. So Ovechkin, I did watch quite a bit of that Boston-Washington game. He spears Frederick, and he only got 2 minutes. And I got in a bit of an argument with a long-time umpire here and referee. Notice how they're all the same?
Yep.
Officials. He's like, it wasn't a jabbing movement. It was more of a whack. And I'm like, no, it was a spear. I got a pretty good idea what it is. I've done it. I've received it. It was a spear. Should have probably been 5. This morning, the NHL has fined Ovi $5,000. Did you see that?
I did.
So he got what he deserved there. And been going back and forth with some hockey coaches. Keith Cassidy watches our show every day, former coach of the Bruins. And he said, you know, in his day, Frederick would have been picking up his teeth if he'd cross-checked him like that. And somebody else said, well, Gordie Howe and Gretzky would have dealt with it their own way. No, Gordie would have broken Frederick's face. And Gretzky wouldn't have had to touch him because Semenko would have been coming like a freight train, wham, to take him down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Ovi, I guess, see what I'm talking about not being ready? Unbelievable. So Ovi speared him in the nuts. I guess that's how you take care of it. But my point is, I don't ever remember Gretzky sticking anybody. Do you, Phil? I don't ever remember Gretzky spearing anybody, ever. Marty McSorley, different story. Mike Bullard, right? But
yeah.
Anyways.
Didn't have to.
Didn't have to because Wayne had people taking care of that for him.
And it's funny, the other night that happened, in Buffalo, when Dylan Cousins had to fight. And I saw that on social media. Like, he should never have had to fight his own fight. Would never have happened back in the day.
No. So Ovi's got to handle his own affairs by spearing a guy between the legs, pays $5,000. He's looking at it going, speeding ticket, worth it. Right? Does he have points on his license?
Yeah. He is now a repeat offender if it happens again.
Right. Hope Nathan McKinnon's okay. He got blindsided last night. Zdeno Chara got his revenge. The Capitals went into Boston and won. And my last leftover is that I'm not getting sick of division-only play, ever. And if you think that you're getting sick of watching these teams, because I'm seeing a lot of people out east in the media saying that they're getting sick of this, then I suggest you check your fan card and your media card. And are you really a fan of this game? Because I'm starting to wonder. So it's Thursday. That means we should have our top 5 for the NHL.com, right, with their power rankings. I don't know. I couldn't find it this morning. I was looking at NHL.com. I couldn't find their power rankings, so I came up with my own. Are you ready for these?
I'm ready.
The top 5, normally from NHL.com. Today it's from RP.com. The Toronto Maple Leafs.
Whoa.
They are running away with it. I don't care what John Scott says. They're way out front in the NHL. You can call this Canadian division a mirage if you want. That's not the Leafs' fault. You only beat who's in front of you, and they're beating everybody. The Leafs are the number 1 team in the NHL. Change my mind. Number 2, the Tampa Bay Lightning. Number 3, the Vegas Golden Knights, Canada's team. Number 4, the Carolina Hurricanes. And number 5, the Washington Capitals.
Wow.
Debate if you must. Moving on to the next point of the Quick Six, the RP.com. Bottom 5 in the National Hockey League. And a lot of this has to do with winning percentage, but it has a lot to do with trends as well. The worst team in the NHL, the Buffalo Sabres, who Alan May yesterday basically said on this show are as soft as baby food. The Buffalo Sabres. Second worst team, the Ottawa Senators. The third worst team, the Anaheim Ducks. The fourth worst team, the Nashville Predators. And the fifth worst team, the Detroit Red Wings. So congratulations to fans of the Wig and Wheel. You're moving up the list further from the bottom of the worst in the NHL. Couple other things. The Yankees, my fourth Quick Six show topic here. The Yankees beat the Blue Jays 4-1 last night. We didn't see it. We didn't hear it. And it was like it took to the 50th minute of SportsCenter to get to the Blue Jays highlights. What's happening? Are they just shrinking off the face of the earth?
I don't know.
It's 2021, and we can't get a damn Blue Jays broadcast.
In a relationship, you call that the slow fade.
Yes.
You go from texting 10 times a day to couple to one to every second day to slowly, It feels like that's what Sportsnet's doing to the Jays, the slow fade, and eventually they're just going to drop them.
Has the Blue Jays even made a statement on what Sportsnet's doing to them? We're realizing now what marketing does. Like the broadcasts are a free 3-hour commercial for you guys, and you don't even get that. I don't understand. It's spring training. It's the preseason. We should be able to watch and listen to the Blue Jays. It's not happening, but there's people above my pay grade that they can deal with it. The Raptors last night, they lost 129-105 to the Detroit Pistons, but at least they showed up. And I saw they had Kyle Lowry playing and a few other guys that we know. But here's my question. I saw Leo Routon saying that when you're a bad team like the Pistons, your eyes light up when you are playing a team that's undermanned like the Raptors. Not the Toronto Raptors. Rod Black's calling them the Corona Raptors. There's no CFL, but Rod Black's still making corny terms. The Corona Raptors. Is Dwayne Casey junk? I put that out there for debate. Well, the Raptors fire him and go on to win a championship. I'm a Dwayne Casey fan. He's the NBA Coach of the Year. I get all that. His name's on the trophy. I'm just saying, again, the Raptors fired him and they go on to win a championship. Clearly, they knew something. And now he's coaching one of the worst teams in the NBA. Yeah, they beat the Raptors last night, but that was the Raptors G League team. So you're still on the Casey bandwagon?
I'm okay, yeah.
I like the guy.
I think I'm still okay. I'm still on the bandwagon. I think he's a good coach. He's shown it. I mean, you don't win a Coach of the Year award by accident or by fluke.
You wouldn't think.
You wouldn't think, but we'll see. Can he turn the Detroit Pistons around? Here's hoping.
Well, he's got a long ways to go, is my point.
They're not close.
By the way, this is the warm-up for the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Come in and warm up at the Four Seasons. You're home for the NHL and UFC. Was it 2:59 this Saturday night? I was talking to Georgie this morning, the owner and operator over there. He's a Leaf fan. He says, we're celebrating now while we can. Mm-hmm. Is that true? You're celebrating now while you can?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really? We have to.
And then my sixth point is, I'm calling up the poll here. This was just kind of came out of the blue in a way. Would you hire Mike Babcock as your NHL coach? If you own the team, an NHL team, would you hire Mike Babcock? Interesting results here. Early on for Capital Auto Mall, Universal Collision Center, no was running away with it. We've had this poll up for over an hour. But now it's on Twitter, 52% saying yes, they'd hire Mike Babcock as coach, 48% saying no. Now, remember, we're originating from the sweatpants capital, his home province, so there's a lot of Mike Babcock fans here. 70% on Facebook saying yes. Now, I would hire Mike Babcock. I've known the man 27 years. I have no problem voting yes with that. And the reason we're bringing it up is two reasons. One, he met with the Montreal Canadiens yesterday about that vacant head coaching job. And two, I was watching him on NHL and NBC just last night. He's doing a great job there. Clearly, he met with the Canadiens by Zoom. But how are you answering that question?
On my team, I'm hiring Mike Babcock. But how I'm answering it is it depends on the franchise.
Okay.
Because I understand the baggage and the media attention and the negative pub that's going to come along with Mike Babcock. So for me, it really depends on the market. It depends on the market. If you have a team that's had success and, you know, your franchise is in a good spot, I maybe go another direction. But if you're Buffalo, you can't really go down. If you're Arizona, right? If you're a franchise like that, absolutely, because there is a tremendous amount of upside with Mike Babcock. And we know he's a good man. We know he's a good coach. And if you're okay with taking that negative media attention, if you're already getting negative media attention, then go for it. Hire him.
Lean into it.
Lean into it. Take it on because there's a tremendous amount of upside. So on my team, I'm hiring him. For the NHL franchises, it would depend franchise to franchise.
Yeah. By the way, that's the thing. So I'm dealing with that guy, as I said off the start of the show, in New York City. And he thinks that we're in Eastern Canada. He thinks that we're in Toronto. And my thing is, here's how, I'm just going to go with it. Let him believe what he wants to believe. Because they just say 5 o'clock. They don't even acknowledge the other time zones. That's what I found.
There's other time zones?
The Eastern Seaboard. But I'm not going to lean into it and be Johnny Toronto. That's the difference between just going with it and leaning into it.
Right.
There's a difference. DuPont terms. I see they're awake in Winnipeg today. James in Borden, Manitoba says, big game tonight for the Jets. Jets can put some space between them and the Oilers. I got the preview here just for you. The Winnipeg Jets, 14-7-1. Second in the North Division. Visit the Montreal Canadiens, 10-6-5 tonight. Fourth in the North Division, 7 p.m. Eastern at Centre Bell. The bottom line, Mark Scheifele and Winnipeg take on Montreal. Scheifele sixth in the NHL with 31 points, scoring 11 goals and 20 helpers. The Canadiens are 10-6-5 against North Division teams. Montreal averages 10.8 penalty minutes per game, the third most in the NHL. That might be a problem.
It might be.
Ben Sherratt leads the team with 39 penalty minutes. Injuries, Canadians, Josh Anderson listed as day-to-day with a lower body injury. Not ruled in or out yet for tonight. The Jets, none listed. So 7 p.m. Eastern. Later on, we'll preview the Leafs and the Canucks. And also the Senators at the Flames. As the game goes, or as the show goes along today. Boy, we're covering a lot of ground today, aren't we?
Oh, yeah.
I would like to turn it over to the viewers here. Hang on. We can do viewer takeover early. The spot for fantasy footballers, that's their account on YouTube. Did you see their comment? The spot for fantasy footballers. They said, this is such a good show. I would agree.
Yeah, you think?
Smart person.
On to something.
Yeah. Well, I was on a podcast last night with a young gentleman, Jordan the Stover, interviewing me, and he said, why do you think the show has been so popular? And I said, I really don't know. I think the biggest reason is because the viewers can watch and converse with the people coming out of the screen. 435 shows in, it's still mind-blowing that you can do that, right? Interactive TV, as Paul calls it, downstairs, the infamous Paul. Donald Mitchell, our Navy friend, watching, he says, 3 a.m. in the morning here in Manama. My roommate is a Canadiens fan. I may get up early to watch it. Yeah, Habs Jets, big game tonight. And just before we break and bring in the Slapshot SweetHearts, did I hear a rumor right, Clark, that we had a comment from Norway? Can we get it up here from Trent in Norway watching today where it's currently 6:11 p.m. Norway calling the Raptors gave it the old college try with Corona, but a loss is still a loss. Wake up, Sportsnet, and broadcast the Jays. Class move by the Saskatchewan Rush to get Dr. Shahab a Rush jersey. Stay well, everyone. Same to you, Trent, in Norway. Yeah, the local NLL team did a jersey up for our top doctor, Dr. Shahab, and presented him with it yesterday very safely and socially distanced. So
I saw that.
Yeah. So, again, this has been the warm-up. We got the Slapshot SweetHearts. There's Rich next. Oh, yeah, Rich is next. Well, He's still a sweetheart.
He's a Slapshot sweetheart.
He's a Slapshot sweetheart. Are you kidding me? Rich Sutter coming in next to talk all things NHL and junior hockey if he's so inclined. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states. Live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150 Explorer or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
There's something for everyone at the Mad Greek Eatery. Delicious Greek dishes, pizza, lasagna, pastas, soups, salads, and much more. The Mad Greek Eatery brings the best authentic Greek cuisine right to you. Available for licensed dining, events, delivery, and takeout. For the best taste and huge portions, there is only one place. Visit the Mad Greek Eatery, downtown Moose Jaw. Call for takeout and delivery today.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
Comfort has always been something we, as people, strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Building a deeper connection with our fans by putting them in the show. It's a new era of sports talk. The Rod Pedersen Show airs from 10 to noon, Monday to Friday on Facebook Live. Join the conversation today and tune in. Online, on your phone, at home, at work. Follow us on Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter. And subscribe on YouTube for all the content you want to watch. Don't wait, do it right now. Hey, honey, can you get one of the kids to show me how this Twitter thing works? Honey, I need to get on Instagram. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Guys telling me that Rich Sutter is just logging in right now. And while he does, a couple things. Robin Wildey watching with the breaking news. He says Braden Schneider has signed an entry-level deal with the New York Rangers. And then it just slid off the screen. He's a PA kid, captain of the Brandon Wheat Kings, signed with the Rangers today. Chris Bird, watching in Toronto, says 27 years ago, John Candy passed away. R.I.P. John. Best Argos owner ever. So 1994, you'd have been 7 years old-ish, 6, 7 years. Do you even remember? Like
I do, but
I could tell John Candy stories until the cows come home. And you tell me when Rich is ready. But I was doing sidelines for Rough Riders radio broadcast when he was the owner of the Argos. He traveled with the team. John Candy. I never get tired of talking about it because it was so amazing. And it was 1991. We didn't have a cell phone that takes selfies. Can you imagine me now? Right? Hey, John. Hey. Right? But the guy was the size of a Coke machine. One of the biggest human beings I've ever been around. And I mean square. You know what I mean? Like tall but thick. And this was just coming out of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles and Uncle Buck and Great Outdoors and all the summer rental, all those shows. And then boom. Heart blows up.
I know.
That was like a day of mourning. So yeah, 27 years ago today. Thank you, Chris Bird, for reminding me. And the Argos are really leaning into the John Candy ownership. Have you noticed that on their social media?
Why not?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? So I'll get to more of the viewer comments. The funny thing about the viewers is they give us great show topics. And for instance, so the guy was mentioning Braden Schneider signed with the Rangers today. Let's bring in Rich Sutter now. I didn't know where to start with you, Richie, out in Lethbridge, but I do now. How do you feel about the underage American hockey leaguers being sent back to junior? Because as you saw, Kelly McCrimmon in Vegas says he's not in favor of it this year, yet they're going to comply to the CHL, NHL transfer agreement. Would you prefer the underage guys just stayed in the American League because a lot of them are having such great success?
Well, first of all, I laughed at that comment because it's easier for Kelly to say that now because he's no longer a junior hockey owner.
Of course.
And I'll tell you one thing, if he was still in the Brian Wheat Kings, he'd be bitching left, right, and center that those players need to go back to juniors. So that's typical Kelly to respond like that. It's his responsibility as a GM of an NHL team to feel that way. But look, those are the rules. And that's, quite frankly, that's the way it should be, and that's the way it is. And I think that you tell any coach or GM or owner of a Western Hockey League or Canadian Hockey League team that player's not coming back, what do you think they're going to say? All of a sudden the rules have changed. So I think it's the right thing. Look, these players will come back and they'll play a ton. They're going to play 25, 30 minutes a night. They're getting 12, 13 minutes a night in pro. I think this is a really neat experience for them to come back and let them enjoy people within their peer group and age group for at least a couple months.
Yeah, well, before Krim gets mad because they're all watching down there every day, I'm paraphrasing. He said just this year he would prefer to keep Peyton Krebs and Henderson because he's a point a game. He's done enough quarantine time. He said normally, yes, but not this year. That was his point, if that changes anything. But Craig Button also came on here and said if he was those underage players, I wouldn't report to junior. I'd rent some ice in Vegas or Henderson or somewhere and just skate together because he thinks that they'd be down in the dumps having to come play, for instance, in the hub bubble. Obviously, you don't agree with that either.
Well, I mean, we'd all like to do some things that we prefer to do and go outside the box. And if that, I think that's not a bad idea to do. But again, these things are in place. Like I said, it's all about the Canadian Hockey League and getting these. Look, these kids are coming back better players, no doubt. They're going to play more than they played in pro. And the thing I think it's good about it is that they're going to help the other younger players around them that are going to be draft picks or aspiring draft picks and they will give them some mentorship and leadership about what it's like to prepare and be better players on a day-to-day basis. And I think it's a win-win for everybody involved coming back to junior. I think it's important for these younger players to learn from these guys that have been away and have got some great experience. And I think at the end of the day, I think everybody wins in the end. So it's only 2 or 3 months. So these guys could probably end up going back playing pro in 2 or 3 months' time anyway. So they'll still get their time and be able to go back and finish the year pro.
Sure. So, Richie, the hockey fans are weighing in. Dallas Federchuk, he's a Wheat King scout. He says, I agree with Rich, minus his take on my main man, Kelly. It's called development. A guy named Dar Netzel watching on YouTube says, would the leadership of the players coming back elevate each club? And that's what I'll get you to talk about next. But a few others just regarding John Candy dying today, 27 years ago. Ryan McCarthy is watching in Albany, New York. He says, should I line up to get my Gretzky Argos jersey? Why not? That'll look pretty cool. Young viewer in Vancouver, Habs for Life, says, wow, I didn't know John Candy owned a CFL team. So cool. So, yeah, that's one thing we're recognizing today, Rich. But I guess you're selling me on it. Initially, I was on Kelly's side, but having those older guys with these dub teams is going to help the young guys, right?
Well, I think it's really important to have those guys back and, like I said, provide experience, provide mentorship, provide leadership. I think it's only going to enhance these younger players to come to the rink on a day-to-day basis. Look, junior hockey is a huge learning curve for everybody, for players that are fortunate to move on and be pro players, Rod, players that are able to move on and get their scholarships, get their education with CIS hockey. I think at the end of the day, you know, the biggest thing about junior hockey is growing up and learning and life's values and skills and to be successful in life, you have to learn to do things with great habits, and you have to have them, you know, honestly, on an everyday basis. And in junior hockey, that is one huge thing that players have trouble learning. And even at the pro level, players are still a lot of pro players that have trouble understanding that it's not a 2 or 3 day a week thing. It's an every day of the week thing. And if these kids are learning these experiences in places like Henderson and Ontario and Bakersfield or wherever they're at playing right now, they're bringing those types of experiences back to junior hockey to help these younger players and their peer group become not just better players, but better people in other places in life. And I think it's huge. I think it's a huge curve for them. It's a huge opportunity for them to come back and be great leaders. And like I said, it's only going to be for 2 or 3 months, and these guys will be back playing pro probably by the end of the year anyways.
I see they're kicking around on the NHL insider trading if they should move the draft back or so forth. Where are you on that? Because we're playing a 24-game slate in the dub. The USAHL's going, as you see, and the NA, as they call it. I don't see a reason to move the draft back, especially after we get these 24 games in. But where are you on this?
Well, I think first and foremost, the Canadian Hockey League, especially the Western League at this point, and the Quebec League is going in. We're waiting on the Ontario Hockey League. The first and foremost, Rod, the most important thing is if you ask an owner or a person running a junior hockey team, what's going on today with these kids that are playing, their mental health and their mental wellness is so huge. It's so important for them at this stage in their lives to have that back. And that's, I think, first and foremost, the number one thing that they're accomplishing with this. Then becomes the draft and everything that goes along with it. Is 24 games enough to value or, I guess, evaluate a player in terms of where you think he might be in a draft situation is probably too short. I think that's the reason why NHL teams are pushing for the draft to be moved back maybe to December. It does create a bit of a problem with the older players, the 19, 20-year-olds, because now where do they go in the meantime? What happens to them? So there's pros and cons to both. I'm glad I'm not the one having to make that decision.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, I guess just to wind it up on an NHL note, which game or games were you watching last night?
I watched a little bit of the LA game. I watched a little bit of the Anaheim game, and I watched a little bit of Arizona with the LA, I guess. And then at the end of the night, most importantly, Colorado, San Jose. It's funny, every night I look at my schedule and I feel what are the games that I feel most important to watch tonight if I'm not at them. What players or pieces or how a team is playing at this stage that's not our team, what's going on in their groups, or what you feel is going on, and then you're trying to just kind of zone in on that for the night. Last night was 3 games, so it was a late night.
Yeah, well, no, I'm calling up the standings here as I look at this because I saw Arizona won, and they've won 4 in a row on the road. They haven't done that for years. They're 2 points behind Minnesota for a playoff spot in the West Division. So let's just talk about the Desert Dogs for a minute. Do you think the Coyotes are going to get into the playoffs?
Rod, that's a great question. They're a funny team. They seem to play better on the road than they do at home. They have fans in their building at home. Look, selfishly, I hope they do. Real good friends that are involved in that hockey club there. So it'd be really nice to see them get in.
Talk it?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Yeah, starting with Rick Talk. Oh, those guys have been through so much there. It would be nice with what they're doing. They've battled. Clark's got a question for you. Can you ask Rich about Max Domi and his fit with the Blue Jackets? A lot of talk about Line and Roslovic, not so much about Max.
Max has not had the start that we'd hoped, to be honest with you. Why? That's a great question. That's something that we're trying to figure out as we move along here. He struggled at center. We moved him back to the wing, and I think that's where he needs to be. We need to get him going. He needs to start providing some spark and energy for us. He needs to start scoring for us, to be quite honestly, a little bit more than he has been. But again, at the end of the day, he's pressing, trying to do too much. Like some of our other players, the group is there. The ability is there. It's got nothing to do with coaching, I'll tell you that. It's got everything to do with guys need to quit fighting the pucks, quit pressing, and being more relaxed, just go out and play. And at the end of the day, when you do that, I think you execute better. When you press and you feel like everything has to happen all at once, that's when mistakes are made and your execution is not there. And quite frankly, that is, to me, has been the root of our problem. And I think that if we can just go out and play and have some fun, which is what, quite frankly, our coach has been trying to get our guys to do for about the last 5-6 games. So we've lost some, too many, quite frankly, so it's time to start winning.
Interesting. Well, a wonderful hockey visit here. Rich, thanks for catching up. Keep in touch, and we'll talk soon.
You bet, Rod. Take care. Hope the weather's great out in Regina. Springtime.
Not bad. Glad you made it back for that 14-mile trek in the mountains. How was that, by the way?
It was awesome. We're got a guide hired. We're going back out again tomorrow.
Oh, good for you. Well, stay safe, and I'll join you on one of these. I promise. Thanks, Richie.
Okay, you bet. Take care.
The great Rich Sutter joining us from Lethbridge, where it is gorgeous out there. Spring has sprung. And our visits with Rich Sutter are brought to you by Great Western and the new Great Western Ultra. I don't have a liner on that one. Can I say just 80 calories and the same great taste? Great Western Ultra. We'll be back with a sports update and a curling report and viewer takeover. So hang on. It's the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube and Facebook Live, and listen live. 24-hour sports talk at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of delicious peach with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
This right here is time well spent. Why not pour yourself a smooth Saskatchewan-made Original 16? Warm up to the opportunity to seize the day.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Working with my family has been great. My mom and dad have taught us the importance of hard work. I've been here since I was 10 years old, and my dad has taught me a lot about quality work.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Pedersen Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends. Did you know you can catch all the best moments from the show on all our social media platforms? Now, back to the studio with Rob.
Welcome back, everybody. We got a lot of things going on here today. I'm going to get to a sports update in a moment. Oiler fans, let's hear from you. If you've got something to say, there's lots of comments coming in. Gary Lincoln in Winnipeg says, Shaq on AEW Wrestling last night, sent through 2 tables by Cody Rhodes. We all saw it, didn't we? I didn't know until yesterday. I was yesterday years old when I learned that Shaq was going to get into pro wrestling. I would hope you all saw it on social media or on the highlights. And Shaq was not in the ring. You saw this, right? He was standing on the apron of the ring. And Cody Rhodes came after him and he went, whack! Right over a table. But by the way, he appeared to be fine. Like, I thought he was going to be hurt. Did you see that?
He falls off the TNT set on a weekly basis. Shaq does. So this is nothing.
So that was cool. Troy Colmer is watching on Facebook, and he says, bingo, regarding Richie's comment. Now it just slipped off the wall, and I have to... Oh, darn it. He had a comment about mental health of the players. I'd have to go dig through here and find it. Bingo, great insight on the mental health of these kids. Huge issue these days, and we need to keep that in mind when making decisions around teenagers. I agree with you, but I'm not sure how much the mental health of the players necessarily is taken into account. And frankly, I was just on a podcast the other day, Tackle It Football out of New Westminster, where they talked about that. Is the onus on the team to look after the player's mental health, or is the onus on the player to look after the player's mental health? The lady that was hosting it, Katie, said to me, do you think coaches should have it part of their certification to deal with mental health? And I said, no. Would that surprise you? Coaches are there to coach and develop the players on the field. They don't have time. I'm sorry. A lot of them are volunteering because they've got 8 40-hour work week jobs as it is. They are not trained mental health professionals. They are coaching professionals. I think it's up to the players to look after and address their own mental health, and that starts by telling somebody if they are struggling. And I'm not saying I'm right. How do you feel about that? Do you think the teams are responsible for the players' mental health?
No, but I think, assessing mental health is a big part of coaching, right? Knowing what buttons to push, what buttons not to push. Some kids, it's okay to push harder than others. But, yeah, it's a tough question because it does become the player's issue. Players do need to be open about talking about it and being upfront about it, too.
Yeah. Tough one.
Tough one.
But at least we're talking about it. That's key. Jordan Wayne, viewer, says it's a combination of both. Self-awareness is important. Yeah. But, hey, let's talk sports. Derek Smith says, not sure why everyone thinks the Oilers should be good. They have no depth. I know. But I said it at the start of the year. You can't have 2 guys and 18 other guys. That's what they have.
That's right.
And that's the way that they're playing. And I'll just say one more. Zach in Calgary says, I have a question for Rod. Do you like the Chris Cuthbert, Craig Simpson broadcast team? I do, and here's why. I watched the Oilers game last night, and I'm just like, Cuthbert, so good. It's so many things. He just reminds you of being a kid. His calls are great. He doesn't say the same thing twice. He's just awesome. And Craig Simpson, I love him. I loved him as an Oiler. We were with him at the Heritage Classic. He was great to my wife. She met him for the first time. Craig Simpson is just a first-class guy. But on Hockey Night in Canada, I told you my wife's out of town, right? I'm watching Hockey Night in Canada. Dave Lederhouse wrote me. One of my oldest friends, my first ever hockey color guy. Second, he goes, where's Jim Houston? They fire him too? I'm like, I don't know where Jim Houston is, and I'm not going to put on Twitter, where's Jim Houston?
I know.
Do you people want to tell me where Jim Houston is? Because I don't know.
He's in Vancouver. He's at home. He's not traveling. He won't travel out of the pandemic, so he's basically not doing anything. And
there you go.
I don't know if he's done Canucks games or not, or if he will. I like Jim Houston and Craig Simpson a little bit better than Cuthbert and Simpson, just on the duo. But I love listening to Chris Cuthbert call a game too, though.
Of any sport. He could call a checkers game and it'd be great.
Absolutely.
Dwight Ferris is watching on Facebook. He says, I'd like to rip the Oilers apart, but I'm a Flames fan and can't talk right now. Well, that hasn't stopped a lot of Flames fans from ripping the Oilers. Like, that is so Calgary. But good for you for not doing that. Sports update, by the way. Jimmy Vesey scored twice to snap a long goal drought, and Frederik Andersen made 26 saves in his return from injury as the Leafs thumped the Oilers 6-1. I'm not done with that game yet, by the way. We're going to come back, okay? Jonathan Marchessault. His goal in the second period was the winner. Marc-Andre Fleury made 36 saves. And the Vegas Golden Knights, Canada's team, beat the Minnesota Wild 5-1. Jordan Bennington made 27 saves, and the St. Louis Blues scored on all 3 of their power plays in a 3-2 victory over the skidding Anaheim Ducks. Listen up for this. Andrew D'Agostini stopped 31 shots as the Toronto Marlies doubled up the Manitoba Moose 4-2 in the American Hockey League. Justin Brazeau, Tyler Gaudette, Kalle Kosila, and Kalle Rosen supplied for the offense for the Marlies. Go figure. What are the chances of one hockey team has 2 guys named Kalle?
Yeah. Was there a single Canadian in the scoring sheet there?
Well, Gaudette would be, I would think.
I would guess so.
Hayden Shaw and CJ Dr. Seuss had goals for the Moose. His name is CJ Seuss, and it's spelled exactly like Dr. Seuss. Do you think his nickname's Doc?
It has to be.
In the locker room?
It has to be.
Mikhail Berdin turned away 21 of 24 shots for the Manitoba Moose. Wayne Ellington scored 25 points, and the Detroit Pistons beat the virus-depleted Raptors 129-105. Norman Powell had 36 points, Kyle Lowry 21. Gary Sanchez hit the first of 3 home runs for New York, and the Yankees beat the Blue Jays 4-1 Wednesday to hand Toronto its first loss of spring training. Derek Dietrich and Robinson Chirinos also went deep for the Yankees, who are 3-1 in grapefruit play. Lefty Nick Elguyer took the loss for the Blue Jays after getting roughed up for 3 earned runs in an inning of work. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room, Saskatchewan's newest entertainment destination. Visit them in the heart of the Dewdney Strip. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. We'll come back with all of your comments, not the least of which is what Neon Leon had to say last night when he was very pissy at the media after the game, right? Does it hurt more, Leon? What was the question? Do you remember? Does it hurt more that you guys sucked, basically?
Yeah.
He's like, no, we love it. We love it when we don't score any points. We love it. It was great.
Just a
like,
question.
literally, it's just a question. Like, meow. We'll talk about that. Oilers, Flames, Jets playing tonight in Montreal. Lots on the table when we come back. It is Canada's daytime sports talk show, and we'll be right back. The RP Show airing on Game Plus TV Network, YouTube and Facebook Live, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com/listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
There's something for everyone at the Mad Greek Eatery. Delicious Greek dishes, pizza, lasagna, pastas, soups, salads, and much more. The Mad Greek Eatery brings the best authentic Greek cuisine right to you. Available for licensed dining, events, delivery, and takeout. For the best taste and huge portions, there is only one place. Visit the Mad Greek Eatery, downtown Moose Jaw. Call for takeout and delivery today.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Send us your opinions now. We won't victimize you unless you really deserve it. Now, back to your host, Rod Pedersen.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Just ahead of viewer takeover, and we got lots of time for you. I'm going to get into the curling report. Calgary's curling bubble has a new set of inhabitants as the 2021 Tim Hortons Brier, presented by AGI, kicks off tomorrow at Winsport Arena in Calgary. The Brier will open with an 8:30 p.m. Eastern draw featuring defending champions Team Canada, skipped by Brad Gushue, taking on Ontario's John Epping of Toronto. Gushue, backed up by vice skip Mark Nichols, second Brett Gallant, lead Jeff Walker, alternate Ryan McNeil, Lambswood, and coach Jules Auker will be attempting to become just the second team in Brier history to win back-to-back titles on 2 occasions. The only other team to pull it off were the legendary Richardsons, skipped by Ernie Richardson. The Saskatchewan team won Brier titles in 1959 and 1960, and then back-to-back again in 61 and 62. Team Gushue won in 2017 and 2018 and is trying to repeat their victory from last year in Kingston, Ontario. But one other team has history in its sights, as Team Wildcard number 2's Kevin Cooey is looking to win his 5th Tim Hortons Brier as a skip, which would give him sole possession of a record he shares currently with Richardson, Randy Furby, and Kevin Martin. Gushue, meanwhile, would join that elite club with a victory in Calgary. As was the case with the recently completed Scotties, the Tim Hortons Brier will be played in a strictly enforced no-fans bubble. The winning team will return to the bubble in Calgary to wear Canadian colors at the World Men's Curling Championship, which is April 2nd to the 11th. Additionally, the Tim Hortons Brier champions qualify for the curling trials next November in Saskatoon, where Canada's 4-player men's and women's teams for the 2022 Winter Olympics will be decided. That's your curling report for Verge Agriculture. Helping farmers plan and optimize their operations across every field. Visit urgeag.com to learn more today. We have an Oilers fan in the attendance here. It's Phil, our good friend in from Saskatoon, and he's smiling more than you would think for an Oilers fan today, because it's pretty boiling up there today. And I don't know if you saw the comments from Neon Leon. You've heard about them, where he was so snarky with the media after last night's game. And you said Connor. I didn't see the comment from Connor after the second loss to the Leafs.
I'm trying to find it too. He wasn't too happy either. I don't want to guess on what the quote was. I can't find it on social media, but if somebody else can find what he said after the second loss, it was along the lines of, we're not good enough. The team's not good enough right now. And he didn't have words either, and he was answering questions from a lot of credible media. Ryan Rishaug, one of them, and he just didn't want to go down the road of, he's like, I don't know what I can say here, I don't know what to say. And he was kind of lost for words, and he was trying to be really careful about his words because he's frustrated. They're really, really frustrated. Him and Leon, were held in check and really off the score sheet in 3 games. Well, it's tough.
I don't know. Obviously, we had Dustin Nielsen on here yesterday, and he has Oilers talk every day for hours. And then Jason Gregor does, and Low Tide in the middle, all on the same station. Just from looking from the outside in, it's not like we have any answers to what's going on at Edmonton. But come on, what is it a sign of when you're streaky like Edmonton, and that you can only beat good teams, and you could win 4 or 5 in a row against crappy teams, but you go up against the Leafs? It was supposed to be a measuring stick, and you completely get run out of the rink in your own building. What is that a sign of? I don't know the answer to that, other than immaturity. But they've been around long enough. Mike Smith's not young in goal. They're not that young. They got schooled by Chicago in the play-in round last year, and it was embarrassing. I think that's why Dave Tippett looked so frustrated after the game last night, because what's the answer? Guys, they are good enough. The Flames are good enough. But these teams aren't playing like it. What the hell's it going to take?
It seems like it's a lack of the solid foundation. And not that Leon and Connor aren't the foundation of the Oilers, but you look at what the good teams do. They've got this solid foundation, the bottom 6 where you can just roll those guys, the defense that you can just lean on, and when the good guys are rolling, you do really well, but when they're not rolling, you still have some sustainability.
We only got 20 seconds left here, but let's look at Vegas. They never take their eye off the ball. Never. And that's why I'm a fan of theirs. But anyways, we'll talk more of this next hour, talk about tonight's games, and the Slapshot SweetHearts coming up. Stick around after this break, everybody, on Game Plus TV.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Look like the pros. Shop Ultimate Fan Zone. NHL, NFL, MLB, CFL, NBA, and more. We have something for every sports fan. Autographed jerseys, prints, jersey stitching, custom framing, and collectibles. UFZ is your one-stop sports store offering fans official team gear. Check out Saskatchewan's Man Cave Corner on River and Main, downtown Moose Jaw, or visit us online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Built by fans for the fans.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions is Saskatchewan's only full-service supply chain company. Strategic sourcing, PO creation, and order expediting, VMI and vending solutions, and free delivery are just a few of the supply chain services we provide. If your company needs it, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions can get it for you. Price, quality, service, Rockstar Supply Chain Solution is helping Saskatchewan companies buy better.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our
Ron Duguay started following me last night. How about that?
How about that?
How about that?
These guys here, the guys with the full heads of hair, don't even know. What did you call him? Ron Duguay? Like, who's this Ron Duguay? This guy was Bon Jovi before there was Bon Jovi, okay? Good guy, Ron Duguay. He's coming up next week.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome to the second half kickoff, everybody.
Again?
I thought I had it fixed, but I don't. My earpiece here. I know it doesn't look good dangling down in the front, but whatever.
I know.
The listeners don't care. How about that?
I want to upgrade you from the bread clip that's holding it on.
We are rocking and rolling into hour two of the program. A lot of hockey talk today. It just sort of happened that Thursdays have become a big hockey day around here. And let's be honest, we are a hockey country. Last hour, we visited with Rich Sutter, Columbus Blue Jackets pro scout, a man that needs no introduction from hockey's first family. You're going to really like our guests this hour. Meg and Shannon will be joining us from the Slapshot SweetHearts podcast. Shannon is in Washington, D.C. Megan's in Los Angeles, California, or at least the last I talked to them, they were. But they got a show that's very popular on the Belly Up podcast network in the States, and I was on their show, and I thought, let's return the favor. These girls know their stuff. So, and they do. But we'll be talking a lot of Honda West Division, a lot of Mass Mutual East Division. This stuff we don't normally talk about here.
Yeah.
Right? So it's going to be good. We've got some comments to get to here. Ricardo, I got to get this right. He's in Southern Ontario. He's watching on Facebook. I can't remember if he's a Ticat fan or an Argos fan, but he says, I watched some Ron Duguay clips last night because of yesterday's show. See, we're doing their marketing for them. The guy's so cool. And we're going to have him next week, but we spent enough time on Ron Duguay yesterday. I'll read one more, and then I'll get into my quick six show topic re-up. Troy Colmer says, it's just an embarrassment for the Oilers. But the Leafs played a solid defensive game. What's he say? I'm Toronto, aren't used to the Leafs playing such a great defensive game.
We in Toronto, yeah.
We in Toronto. Can you spell check your comments, please? Anyways, and there's a debate raging amongst the viewers about where Rick Jeanneret is now, the legendary voice of the Buffalo Sabres. Is he still calling games? Is he not? I don't know. You guys figure it out and tell me. So, Jordan, let's get to the quick six show topics, please. And I'm going to run through these a lot faster than I did last hour, okay? But our NHL leftovers from last night are number one, hashtag free McDavid. Because the Oilers just got smacked around by the Leafs in 3 straight. And I said, this poor kid, he deserves better. It's tongue-in-cheek. I don't necessarily believe they're not going to trade Connor McDavid. But I don't think anybody would blame him at this point if he wanted out. A la Deshaun Watson and a plethora of NFL superstars. Russell Wilson. I know we've covered this before. Is it just a hockey thing that the hockey players just grin and bear it? Whereas the football players say, I'm out? Is it the difference in the culture of the two sports?
It might be. Yeah, you don't see it as much in hockey.
No, you see it some, but not as much as the NFL.
That's right.
Breaking news today. So we love daytime sports talk because things go on and we can talk about them in real time as we roll. So Alex Ovechkin spears the Bruins' Frederick where the sun don't shine in the game last night, and he only gets 2 minutes. And I put in my leftovers this morning, only 2 minutes? And I've got umpires and referees writing me going, it wasn't a spearing motion, Rod. It was more of a whack. No, it was a pitch. And this morning, the NHL just announced $5,000 fine for Ovi, and it's got a bit of some discussion going around it. How come he doesn't have to have a hearing? How come he's so special? I think we would all agree that Ovi's special, correct?
Ovi's special.
He is special. He's a special. He's an NHL star, and it's brought up. People were likening it to Gretzky in the day or Gordie Howe. And what happened was Frederick came over and crotched him on the arm. That's a lack of respect to Ovi. So he turned around and right between the legs, and down went Frederick. We all know the feeling, right? And somebody's saying, how would Gordie Howe have handled it? Gordie would have handled it himself. And Frederick would have been picking up his teeth off the ice. Wayne Gretzky, how would he have handled it? He never stuck anybody. Never, ever, ever remember seeing Gretzky stick anybody because Semenko would be right there, wailing the tar out of him, out of Frederick. Ovi doesn't have a Semenko, and he's not going to handle it himself. So he stuck him in the nuts. And you people, you snowflakes, sorry to sound too much like Don Cherry, but you don't want fighting. This is what you get. Hope you're happy.
If it wasn't Boston, that might have been a role for Zdeno Chara to come in.
Yeah, I guess so.
If it wasn't,
why couldn't he do it against Boston?
I don't know. You know, that relationship, I just don't think he would have, but.
Troy Colmer again. I like you, Troy. He's got, he sends a lot of comments in. That's what we want, lots of comments. He says $5,000 to Ovi is like tossing a quarter into the wishing well. Means nothing. No, it's like a speeding ticket. It's a speeding ticket for Ovi. He's like, worth it. I went on to say, I hope Nathan McKinnon's okay. He got blindsided last night. And the guy that hit him, I don't know his name, got a 5 in a game. Blitchstick or something like that. Chara got his revenge last night with the Caps winning in Boston in a shootout. And I'm also not getting sick of division-only play in the National Hockey League. Are you?
No, not yet. I don't think I will. It's tremendously exciting, and the storylines change from when you play a team once to when you do the next time.
Brady in Saskatoon says, you need to be a superstar to have protection in the NHL. If you're not a superstar, you're free game for dirty hits and concussions. Okay. What's Ovi if he's not a superstar? What is he? And by the way, who's protecting Sydney? I'll wait. Nobody has protection.
No.
And I might add, last night I did flip over It's a good thing that Rich Sutter was watching the games that I wasn't watching, because between the two, we could cover it all. But I watched Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights. I couldn't believe the defensive play of Keegan Kolazar. There's a reason he's playing for Vegas. 200-foot game. Oh, yeah. Same thing happened with Ryan Reeves. They're playing defensively. I'm not sure the Vegas Golden Knights are that much more talented than the Edmonton Oilers, but look at the standings. And if the Knights and Oilers met up in the playoffs, the Knights would sweep them because they have a little thing. It's called work ethic. In Edmonton, you might want to look it up. Google it. That's the part that if I was an Oilers fan, and they are my number 2 team, but I'm just tired of having my heart broken. The people in Edmonton don't have a choice. They have to cheer for them.
Have to. And that was one of the things that came up in the post-game press conference was, like, we need to win some battles. Like, every time there's a battle along the boards, we're never coming up with the puck. And that's a problem for Edmonton.
Keep the comments coming. Brady goes on to say, hey, Rod, NBA All-Star competitions and game take place this Sunday. Habs look to get their first win. In reverse retros, Raptors were without 3 of their starting 5. No wonder they lost. And Shaq was sent through a table last night. We covered all those an hour ago, correct?
Mm-hmm.
In the Quick 6 show topics. Don't mind me. I'm just figuring out this phone, which I love, from Prairie Mobile. It's just a Samsung, I think. LG. If it's not Apple, I don't know what it is. Ray in the 416 right in. This is actually, Ray, I was going to put this in my Quick 6. Were you reading my diary? Ray in the 6 texts, Darren, on the Prairie Mobile text line at 840-8777. Prairie Mobile is your authorized SaskTel Mobility Center. Hi, Rod. Are the Leafs that good, or are the Oilers that bad? Maybe a little different for the Leafs if they started to play American teams. Well, that's what John Scott said yesterday, and I will back him up. Now, no, I'll say, what are the Leafs supposed to do? Like, the Oilers were the number 2 team in the country going into this 3-game set, and the Leafs just treated them like a peewee team. It's not the Leafs' fault.
That's right. It's not. I mean, you can only beat who's in front of you, but I think when you look at going up against the rest of the league, they've shown a lot of growth in different areas. You know, goaltending still might be an issue for Toronto. It might be. Wasn't the last 3 games. But when you can hold Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl to a point combined in 3 games, who else is better in the league?
Wow.
Who else are you going to have trouble with?
This has been echoing in my mind for a while, but it's like if Dave Tippett cannot get the Oilers to win, nobody can. I mean, nobody. And I got Babcock on my mind here. I don't know who. They've had some really good coaches go through there, like Ken Hitchcock, Todd McClellan, God knows. Pat Quinn. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's been a revolving door. Nobody can get the Oilers to win. It's right. Probably that culture problem from the top. But I'm going to come back on that just to run through. I was looking for the NHL's power rankings for their top 16. I couldn't find them. So I just, off the top of my head, came up with the top 5 in the NHL right now. And I said Toronto. I noticed you didn't argue with that. 2, Tampa Bay. 3, Vegas. 4, Carolina. And 5, Washington has wiggled their way into the top 5. The RP.com bottom 5. The Buffalo Sabres are now the worst team in the NHL, according to our rankings. Number 2, the Ottawa Senators for second worst team. 3rd worst, Anaheim. 4th worst, Nashville. 5th worst, the Detroit Red Wings. Congratulations, Darnell from Rockstar Supply Chains. You win a prize. You're no longer the 2nd worst team in the NHL. You're the 5th worst team in the NHL.
We're moving up.
Tell him what he's won, Bob. Point 4, the Blue Jays lost. It was their first spring training loss, I believe. 4-1 to the New York Yankees. I don't know. I would have liked to have told you about it and watched it, but I couldn't. NBA, the Raptors lost to Detroit 129-105. And my rhetorical question was, because I'm no basketball aficionado, is Dwayne Casey not a good coach? Because he couldn't get the Raptors to win. We all know the story. He wins Coach of the Year just before the playoffs, and then the Raptors get swept in the opening round. Raptors can him, hire Nick Nurse, go and win a title. He gets snapped up in Detroit, and now they're one of the worst teams in the NBA. Good coach or not? We never came to an answer on that.
No, we didn't.
And that's about as much time as I'm willing to spend on that. Point 6 of the quick 6 is Mike Babcock. So he has met with the Montreal Canadiens yesterday. Clearly, there's an out in his contract with the University of Saskatchewan. If he gets a pro opportunity, that he'll be let out of that deal. He's volunteering anyways. The poll question is, would you want Mike Babcock coaching your NHL team? And last hour on Facebook, what was it, Darren? 70% said yes?
That's right.
And let's remember, we're broadcasting from the home province of Mike Babcock. Oh, it's flipped. No, it's still... No, sorry. It's going up. 73%. Yes, I'd hire Mike Babcock. Don't you see his commercials for the Saskatchewan Hospital Foundation? Nobody would see that but us, right?
That's right.
Hi, I'm Mike Babcock. I'm proud to be from Saskatchewan. On Twitter, 57% saying yes, they would hire Mike Babcock to be their head coach of their NHL team. I think if we were putting that poll up in Toronto, in the Republic of Toronto, it would be reversed.
Yeah, probably.
But they don't know him. They don't know him personally like I know him. I would absolutely hire him. But having said that, just to debate this for 1 second, I've stuck my neck way out for Babcock. So it's not that I'm not a Mike Babcock fan, but you're a Leafs fan. I'm actually shocked that he was there for 5 years.
I know.
I didn't think it was that long. So they get rid of him, and now they have the number 1 team in the NHL. And I really enjoyed the analysis of Mike Johnston watching SportsCenter this morning, where he talked about the defensive play of the Leafs against the Oilers in this 3-game set. And he has the Leafs, if you looked and he showed all these highlights, Mike Johnston's very good at what he does, right?
Yeah.
But he's like, look, in every instance where the Oilers are trying to position themselves facing the net or get to the net, there was always a Leaf in front of them. Didn't matter if it was a forward, didn't matter if it was a defenseman. The Leafs are playing sound defensively, and it's not just back checking. It's in 200 feet of the ice. They weren't doing that for Mike Babcock. So that's why I'm not asking you about his personality, because 99.99999% of you don't know him personally. As a coach, would you hire him to coach your team? Because clearly he wasn't getting it done with the Leafs, and Sheldon Keefe is. That's the point of the question, Darren.
Yeah. You know, and it's interesting because you look at the trajectory of the Leafs and the Shannon plan, right?
Yeah.
And you wonder if it's just this is the time, right? This is the evolution of it. And if Babcock was still there, maybe they'd be hitting that same evolution of the growth and the maturity and getting the right pieces in place. But clearly Sheldon Keefe, relates to those players, and he's got the right message. And sometimes it's the right coach for the right group, and sometimes it's just not a fit.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, something didn't go right in Toronto.
That's right.
And as you said, it's a breakup, and Toronto's clearly not over it. I think Babcock's over it. I really do. I think he was over it the night he walked out the door.
Exactly. And if the Leafs win, if they win, they'll be over it.
Yes.
They have to win.
Very good,
you always have to be happy, right?
Very good, you.
Yeah.
This is where the RP show morphs into Dr. Phil and relationship advice.
Step into my office.
A lot of comments. Hey?
Step into my office.
Yeah, a lot of comments coming through here. No, Dr. Phil, you need to get in touch with your inner coach. Ivan in Toronto says, hey, I'm from Toronto, and I like Babcock. Well, that's why we have polls, so the majority wins. Chris Bird in Toronto, I'm a Leafs fan. Babcock is a good coach, and if it was up to me, I'd hire him in a minute. He's a good coach. I think that's about it. Let's break, because I'm very excited to bring in our next guest, and they tell me that they are connected. Meg and Shannon, the Slapshot SweetHearts. I know them. You don't yet, though.
Can't wait.
Aren't you excited for this?
Oh, yeah.
The Slapshot SweetHearts, everybody. We're going to talk a little Mass Mutual East Division, maybe a little Discover Central Division, and get to your questions as well. That's coming up next. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV network across all 10 provinces and 31 states. Live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
At Prairie Mobile, you can get the phone you want when you want. All smartphones are $0 every day. With convenient locations across Saskatchewan, Prairie Mobile, your SaskTel authorized dealer, has you covered. Visit us online at prairiemobile.com.
Comfort has always been something we as people strive for. It means that the places we live and work, and that the people we care most about, are able to go about their lives focusing on the things that matter. While the world seems to be facing one challenge after another, our focus at FlameTech has remained the same for more than 20 years. Now more than ever, we need each other to support our local businesses. As an industry leader in combustion services, we are proud to attend to the needs of our communities and support the local economy.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Pedersen Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends. Oh yeah, he's back. Time for more of the Rod Pedersen Show.
Welcome back, everybody. These Thursdays have been a very big hockey day. 10 games in the NHL tonight, by the way, and we'll get to them all with sports on tap for the Tap Brewhouse and drive-through liquor store coming up. Moose DuPont's with me, and have I teed this up too much? Have I made too much of this?
I don't know.
You're going to find out.
It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal. The Slapshot SweetHearts. That's the name of their podcast. They host it in the United States. Let's bring him in, producer Clark. Meg is in California. She's in the top screen. Shannon is in Washington. The last I talked to her, she's in the bottom screen. Good morning, ladies. How you doing?
Good. We're good. How are you?
Yeah, we're fantastic. I'm so grateful. I'm honest when I say 2 weeks ago when you brought me on your program, it's just been fantastic for me. I think it's been good for you guys too. Shannon, I'll start with you. If you wouldn't mind, can you just tell the viewers a little bit about your hockey fandom? Like, you seem maybe a little juxtapositioned here. You're a Bruins fan living in Washington. What's your deal?
Yeah, so as a Bruins fan in Washington, I'm a little annoyed this morning after last night's game. But, I grew up about a half an hour south of Boston, right outside of Foxborough. So, natural diehard Boston, Patriots, Bruins, Celtics, Red Sox fan. And now I live in Washington, D.C. and work down here, went to college down here, which is how Meg and I met. So I have a soft spot for the Washington sports teams. Capitals, I can't get behind the Nationals, but the Wizards and the Washington football team are, have a special place in my heart. But, like I said, after last night's game, the Capitals are, skating on thin ice, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, well, they won in a shootout in Boston, and Charles returned, so we'll talk about that. And you're also the marketing director for Belly Up Sports, so I want to come back on that. But let's bring Meg in. I'll tell you, both these girls, I can tell you, know their stuff. They've got an edge. Like, they would stick you if they had to, like Ovi did to Frederick. I know they would. Meg, you're in California, but you're a Jersey girl, correct? Like, let's tell our viewers a little bit about you.
Yeah, I grew up in Jersey. I went to school in D.C., but I'm a Pennsylvania sports fan, more or less. Penn State football, and then obviously hockey. I'm a Penguins fan. Unlike Shannon, I'm feeling really good this week. Even without Crosby, we had a nice win on Tuesday. I'm feeling pretty good. But yeah, the Penguins are my boys, but I definitely have a soft spot for Vegas, and then a few certain Capitals I'll keep near and dear to my heart. But yeah.
Good. Well, yeah, like we say, Canada's team, the Vegas Golden Knights. Darren, when you have a question, you put your hand up. Okay?
Don't worry. I'm just enjoying.
Okay. Well,
Can I just enjoy?
Yeah, me too. So I'm just going to just pinball and kind of go back and forth here. Shannon, let me ask you this. The Slapshot SweetHearts. We didn't really get into this when I guested on your show, but how have you people been welcomed in the hockey world as females talking sports? What's it been like? I'll start with you, Shannon.
Yeah, so it's actually been incredible. We have only been around since New Year's this year, so just a little over 2 months now, and we have been able to grow in the hockey community very quickly, and we are so grateful for that. We've put in a lot of work both on YouTube, Twitter, more recently Facebook, trying to just get the word out and, get to know the members of the hockey community, because it is a smaller community compared to the other professional sports. So it's been really great, especially on Twitter, getting to know the fandoms of the teams that both we're passionate about and the ones that we don't necessarily know. We're hosting a watch party tonight with a group of fans of the Dallas Stars, and that is just a fandom that beyond the Bruins trading away Tyler Seguin, I am not familiar with. So, we're really excited to just keep expanding our network and getting to know whoever we can within the hockey community. And, as women in the hockey community, it's been give and take. Sometimes people say, get off my screen, you don't know what you're talking about. But it's been, overall very great and very welcoming.
Well, I'll tell you, when anybody says that, please send them to me, because I know that you guys know what you're talking about, and I wouldn't have you on here if you didn't. And I'm going to bring this up to Meg, too. But first, Ivan's watching in Toronto, and he says, aren't the Washington Capitals in Washington, D.C.? Ivan, look, you need to speak girl. You're not understanding. They're from Washington or have lived in Washington, but they don't cheer for the Capitals. That's what they're saying, okay? So follow along. Now, Meg, to you, how have you been received in the wonderful sport of hockey? Not just with Slapshot SweetHearts, but also just yourself as a fan.
Well, in terms of the podcast, pretty good. It's fun making friends with everyone, and everyone's been pretty chill. We have some great comments when we go live, and it's great getting to meet a lot of other people. As a fan, I am definitely a target of some hate sometimes. I'm that loudmouth girl who walks into an arena sporting every jersey but the home team. So I definitely get my fair share of comments, but I'll give it right back to you. It's just in the culture.
Yeah, well, I could tell that about you for sure. Now, I'll stay with you, Megan. Yeah, we had a great chat about the Lake Tahoe games. And you guys were both kind of ragging on the NHL for the lack of marketing around it. And, the merchandise wasn't really there. So now we're post Lake Tahoe games. How did you feel that they came off?
My main issue is that, how did you not take sun into consideration when planning an outdoor game? I don't really understand that issue that happened. You would think there would be some planning or, a contingency from the start, but I think it's a shame too, because viewership was really hurt by that midnight Eastern restart time, which is just such a shame. But I'm sad that Vegas didn't win, but I think it was still fun to watch. Even me being in California, it's nice because the time difference, I saw it at 9 p.m. It was a great time for me, but give and take with it. I wish it had been executed better. And if it had, it would have been better for more people, but I still had a good time watching.
Yeah, for sure. And to you, Shannon, you're the Bruins fan, and I'm the same. I was like, they have to have figured this out, right? They have professional ice makers, and it just seems like they didn't. But from the Bruins' perspective, they lit up Carter Hart. You had to be happy with, although it was late, you had to be happy with how it came from a Boston perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with what Meg was saying. I asked her to cover the Avalanche Golden Knights game on our Twitter because I wasn't available that day. And she texted me and was like, there's no game to cover. They postponed it to midnight. And I was like, you have to be kidding. There's no way that they really let it get that far in terms of all, like you said, had already been doing on the NHL for their poor management of the game. So then when it came to the next day, and I obviously did not watch it. I am not someone that is going to be awake to watch a game at midnight. But when we got to the next day and we got to the Bruins game and the Flyers game, I was really excited. I had made appetizers. I was all ready. And even then, they were not ready to start the game at 7 o'clock. It got postponed to 8 o'clock. And the reason that I stayed up to watch it was because it was a 10-goal game between both teams. You know, the Bruins came out and scored 34 seconds in, which is always nice to see. And it must be frustrating as Carter Hart to be glared by the sun. You know, some of those goals he played horribly either way, but there was some of those goals there was nothing he could do about because he's just playing in the sun and as an outdoor game their game was outdoors, but it's not an outdoor sport. The equipment does not support outdoor play all the time for every single player, which I think is a little bit frustrating for goaltenders specifically.
Yeah, by the way, I just asked Darren if he had a question. He's like, no, I'm just loving it. They're giving it. And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't have had them on if I didn't think that they would. So, by the way, can you show a picture of Darren just so the girls know?
It's great.
He is here. Moose Dupont. He's just sitting here and he's enjoying it. There you go.
So, I will ask you
a question. Something?
Well, just back to Meg on the old trolling in other people's buildings. What's the worst thing you've done? That's one thing I was thinking. What's the craziest thing you've done in somebody else's building as a fan?
Well, I've seen a lot of Penguins Capital games in what is it now, Capital One Arena. Used to be the Verizon Center back when Shannon and I were in college. A lot of people just yell and they're like, go home. And I'm like, well, this isn't a good comeback. I'm like, are you even from here? And I'm like, have you seen the standings? And a lot of the games I go to are like during playoffs. And I was in school during the 2 back-to-back Stanley Cup runs for the Pens. So, like, we'd be, like, up in a series, and they'd be like, you suck. And I'm like, have you seen what's happening? You're the worst. And I'm like, someone will be, like, booing me, and I'm just like, I know, it's really hard. It must be really hard to cheer for that type of team. But, you know, it's just a little passive-aggressive wit is what gets me through.
I love it. Richard Allender's watching in Boston. He says, wicked good podcast, Shannon. So there's one directed specifically to you from a Boston person. But this is what shocked me a little bit. And for our Canadian viewers, it opened up my eyes a little bit. I mean, I told you guys that my dad worked for the Dallas Stars for 26 years. So I'm familiar with Sunbelt hockey, believe me, and that the NHL isn't number one in a lot of those cities. But what the girls were saying on their podcast is that the NHL is not marketed as well as you'd like to see in America. And it's shocking in Canada for anybody to say that. Because as I told you, the NHL is sport number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And SportsCenter is all NHL highlights. And it's hockey, hockey, hockey everywhere you go. And you should have seen you two's face when I said that. Because you were like, sounds like a dream world. That hockey's number 1. You know what I mean? So I'll go to you, Shannon. Because I'm not sure what your schooling's in, Megan. But Shannon, you're marketing communications major. What would you like to see the NHL do in America, and what are they not doing right now, or what they could do better?
Well, it's interesting that you say that hockey is sport 1, 2, and 3 in Canada, because I found out the other day that it's not the national sport and that lacrosse is the national sport in Canada. And I was baffled when I heard that. I was surprised.
I learned that in grade 4 and I'm still shocked by that. But anyways, continue. Sorry.
Right. So, I mean, it's interesting. I'm getting my MBA. So that is where the marketing perspective comes in there. And I am interested in the lack of education about the sport. I think that is where the NHL really fails. You know, you can turn on a game. I was talking last night with my boss at my day job, and she grew up in Alabama where there's no team. And if there's no team, there's no reason to go learn about the sport unless you're actively interested in learning more about a given, league, something like that is not in your area. You learn about football because you go to a game. You learn about basketball because you go to a game. the NHL is not doing a good job in Canada. It's the game that you're playing everywhere. And if you're not either playing it, growing up, watching it, attending a game, there's no rationale to go, learn about it. And they don't show it on TV enough for people to learn about it if they're not in proximity to either playing or watching it physically. And especially in COVID-19, when you can't go to a game, it's significant in terms of the education perspective.
How about you, Meg? What would you like to see the NHL do better?
I would like to see those blackout zones for people who pay around $30 a month to watch all hockey go away, because when I'm home in Jersey with my family, I can't see 4 out of the 8 teams that are in the East Division because they're so central to Jersey. Like, why can't I watch my own teams? That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that is a real personal pet peeve for you. I get that sense.
Oh, yeah.
I know, and Shannon's laughing too. So anyways, that's one of a few things that you guys brought up on your show. And just in the time we have left, I'll let you both give a spiel for the Slapshot SweetHearts podcast. Shannon, you first. Where can they find it, and why should they find it?
Yeah, so you should find it because Megan and I are having some incredible guests on these days. Beyond having Rod on, we just had our first formal professional player, and we talked a lot about hockey prospect development and, the path to becoming a pro, which was really interesting. We just had an ESPN fantasy hockey writer, and we talked all about, the how-tos of fantasy hockey. So if you don't play, I highly recommend you check that out so you can learn a little bit more about fantasy sports. And we just keep bringing in those guests. We're really excited to, expand our network, as I was saying at the beginning of the show. So you can find me at Swelshy63 on Twitter. You can find us at SweetHeartsPod on Twitter. You can just search Slapshot SweetHearts on pretty much any social media platform, and we are on there. And then I can kick it over to Meg so that she can talk a little bit about her socials as well. She's trying to get a little bit more into Twitter. She was not prior to us starting the podcast.
Okay, cool. There you go, Meg. Top that.
I get so much hate from my personal Twitter because I work in news. Like, my brand on Twitter was politics and pop culture with a dash of Penguins, hockey, and Penn State football. And everyone was started calling me out. They're like, you don't follow me on your personal. And I was like, guys, I don't even go on here very often. I'll follow you, call me out. There was a full day where everyone was just hating on me. But no, follow me everywhere else. It's Miss Meg Rach everywhere. And then Shannon and I, if you find our pages, we go live at least once a week with different podcasts from so many different teams, a little bit of something for everyone. We have giveaways coming up. There's one tonight. We have some big announcements that we're holding on to that we're hoping to make rather soon. But there's so much more coming from us. And like Shannon said, we're so new. We're on month 3. And it's just growing and growing, and we want everyone to come along for the ride.
Well, I'm a fan, and I appreciate you coming on. Slapshot SweetHearts, they are very easy to find on social media and those podcast platforms. And just from some of the viewers from Belly Up Sports, they're watching, they say, let's go. Ryan McCarthy is watching in Albany, New York. He says, hey, ladies, representing Belly Up. You guys know Ryan well, so thanks for making the introduction to me. Thanks for coming on today. And go get him. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah,
thanks for having us.
Meg and Shannon, the Slapshot SweetHearts. We'll get to these comments when we come back. Jason in Red Deer says, great interview, ladies. Proud to see you on the show. He hosts the Puck and Pigskin podcast, which is part of their Belly Up network. We'll preview this Leafs-Canucks game. What do you got? Look like you want to say something.
No, I was going to say we'll have to bring him to a game when we do our sports trip, but I'm a little intimidated to take Meg to a game because she just would, create so much attention and get
They're
the fans.
Intimidating.
Oh, yeah.
They're intimidating.
A little bit.
If you don't know how to handle. Joel Lawless from the Belly Up Sports Network watching on YouTube says, LFG. I agree. Viewer takeover coming up and also a sports update. Hang on. It's the RP show you're watching on Game Plus TV Network. Live daily on YouTube and Facebook and 24-hour sports talk streaming for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
An original 16 to fit your active lifestyle. Introducing Original 16 Canadian Ultra Lager. Just 80 calories and 2.5% alcohol. Taste without compromise.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 GMC Yukon, Sierra, or Buick Encore GX and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of certified pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital GMC in Regina.
Introducing Original 16 Hard Seltzer. The refreshing taste of delicious peach with vodka made in Saskatchewan. New hard seltzers from Original 16.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Don't rack your brain trying to source the equipment and materials you need for your business. Rockstar can operate your entire supply chain, from PO creation to expediting your shipments, all from our office. Leverage the buying power of the Rockstar Buying Group to not only save money and time, but also the headache. From gloves to glue, we can provide it for you. Find out more at rockstar.com.
He's covering everything that matters to you. It's the Rod Pedersen Show. Tune in live Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to noon to catch the show live and be a part of the action. Take control by commenting live and sharing the show with your friends. Laid back and kicking it, let's head back to the studio. Here's Rod.
Keeping the hammer down here in hour 2 of Canada's daytime sports talk show, episode number 435. Live reporting. Jason in Red Deer says Sam Bennett a healthy scratch tonight for the Flames, and Derek Ryan checks back in. I thought I saw Derek Ryan in the news the other day that his season was done, or was it somebody else? Derek Stepan, right. Didn't they put Ryan on waivers or something, though? Yeah, that's what I thought. They're trying to figure out the magic mix.
Former Alberta Golden Bear.
In Calgary. Habs for Life, watching on YouTube in Vancouver, says, I'm a bit behind, but I love her opinion on the NHL live blackouts. So frustrating. Guys. Darren had to explain it for me, but now I can explain it for you. If you put it on, if you buy the NHL Center Ice, you'll have every game, no problem. Correct? No problem. And if you're watching NHL Center Ice and it comes up on your screen, this program blacked out in your area, it's because it's on your regular cable. So if you pay $189 for the NHL Center Ice package through your cable carrier, you'll get every game. And if you don't, and you're trying to find those games, Like, for instance, the Leafs are playing Ottawa, and you're trying to find it on your basic cable. You're not going to get it because you don't live in their region. I got that right,
That's
right?
why you need center ice, yeah.
It only took me a month to figure that out, but now I'm passing it along to you folks, not you people. Anything to add on that?
That's perfect.
Sports update, a depleted Raptors team dropped a 129-105 decision Wednesday night against the Detroit Pistons, and it does not get any easier for the Raptors, who had to get on a plane for a game in Boston tonight. The Montreal Canadiens are aiming for back-to-back victories as they host the Winnipeg Jets tonight in one of 10 NHL games. Montreal topped Ottawa 3-1 Tuesday to halt a 5-game slide and hand rookie coach Dominic Ducharme his first victory since taking over duties from fired Claude Julien. Winnipeg's coming off a 5-2 home win against Vancouver. Hey, if you're Dominic Ducharme, how are you feeling when you think you're going to be the next coach of the Montreal Canadiens? Then you find out your bosses are parading Mike Babcock into the facility to interview for your job.
It's like flipping the classifieds and you see your job posted.
That's exactly it.
And you're still in the position.
Should they be interviewing now or should they wait till the end of the year? Kind of a slap in the face to Dominic Ducharme, don't you think?
They do know. I mean, he does know he's an interim coach. So I'm sure they've been upfront with him that they're going to interview other people. I'm sure they've told him he's going to be part of that process. He obviously gets to audition live. So if you're in the chair, you've got the best chance to keep the job. But it's got to be tough coaching when you know that you're looking over your shoulder and other guys are being talked to for the job.
P1 Todd Pinckney watching and says, but there were never any blackouts the past 5 years on center ice. This is the first year they started with them on center ice. But this is the point, unless I've completely misread it. If you are seeing that it says this game blacked out in your area, it's because it's on your regular cable. So I've got center ice, and I've got regular cable, and I have not missed any games this year.
That's right.
And I
don't think that's new, though.
I'm not going to chastise anybody because it took me a while to figure it out, but this is the first year I'd ever bought NHL center ice. And I will probably buy it for the rest of my life. That's how much I'm loving it. Anyways, I got sidetracked here. The Flames and Senators meet tonight for the fourth time in 8 days, with Calgary playing host after the first 3 games were in Ottawa. And the late game tonight will see the Toronto Maple Leafs in Vancouver. Canadians Brooke Henderson, Jacqueline Lee, and Elena Sharp will be teeing off today at the LPGA Drive-On Championship in Ocala, Florida. It's a first-time tournament for the LPGA, which would normally be making its overseas swing through Australia and Asia at this time of year. The winner will take home $225,000 U.S. This sports update for dubnetwork.ca, your number one source for Western Hockey League breaking news and analysis with the best team of writers across Western Canada and the Pacific Northwest. Visit dubnetwork.ca. And for Ben Cahoon's G2G protein bars, now with 8 amazing flavors, including the new almond mocha. RP Show viewers get 20% off with the promo code RP Show. Order yours now at g2gbars.ca. We're pretty excited around here for a couple of reasons. One, speaking of Dub Network, the Regina Pats are hosting their first Zoom media availability of the season today at 2 p.m. The Holy Child isn't on it. Connor Bedard will address the media on Monday. Today, it's a couple of other players. I think Riker Evans for sure, and maybe Drew Englund, but I'll be part of the action. So I'll be on the Zoom today. And then, can I tell them about The Athletic?
Yeah, sure.
They're calling and interviewing Darren and I both separately today. The Athletic, the number one sports subscription website on the continent, calling today to do an interview on this show. And then tonight I got a Zoom with the high school students of Kindersley Composite High School.
Cool.
Talking about my career. So that's tonight.
That's exciting.
So as I said to my wife on the phone this morning, because she's out of town, I said, getting back into the grind. I've had a lot of hockey and football people the last couple of days say, how's life? And I'm like, well, you know what? I'm enjoying the last little bit of the downtime because things are really picking up here.
Yeah.
Do you get a sense that we're getting back to normal? Like Junior A aside, and it's terrible for our friends in the Junior A loop. But in other sports, do you get a sense that something's coming?
Mm-hmm. I do. I get that sense that we're starting to get a little more comfortable with it. And, of course, the more vaccinations that roll out, I know it's slower than we'd hoped, the more we're getting back to normal, too, which is exciting. And the leagues are finding ways to play and creative ways to play. And it's that trickle-down effect, right? It takes the NHL, takes the NFL, the big boys, to step up and come up with the concrete plan. Then it's easy to take that plan and reproduce it multiple times for all the other leagues, right? So they're starting to see that it's possible.
If they have the money to do it.
If they have the money or the creativity in making these hubs and these travel situations work, you can make up for lack of money by working harder, right? It's not always money, but yeah. So once that blueprint's done, it's easy to reproduce.
We're going to get to all of your questions when we come back, but here's just a few before we break to give you a taste of viewer takeover. And we have to find a face-off topic too, okay? Can you think about that while I read these?
I can.
The poll question today is, would you hire Mike Babcock to coach your NHL team? We made the distinction very clear. NHL, because we don't want to make the Huskies uncomfortable because they've already hired him, or any potential junior team. Would you hire Mike Babcock to coach your NHL team? 71% on Facebook say yes, they would. And a reminder, we're broadcasting to you from Mike Babcock's home neck of the woods, as my mom would say, the rectangle. Ken in Saskatoon writes in on the Prairie Mobile text line, 840-8777. Prairie Mobile is your authorized SaskTel mobility dealer. Ken says there would be no hesitation in hiring Babcock, an intelligent man and hockey person. He has obviously seen the error of his ways by agreeing to volunteer with the U of S and recondition his reputation. It is very possible he would work hard, no matter what team he was with, at communicating a positive perception of himself. From the 204, Paulo in Winnipeg. I would survey the players or leadership group of the team hiring. All things being equal, though, I would hire Babcock. I do want to say one thing on Babcock, and I don't think this story's going away. He might end up coaching the Montreal Canadiens or the Calgary Flames or the U of S Huskies or heaven knows. I think Babs thinks he's getting a raw deal. He's admitted he made mistakes. Like, somebody called me from Toronto the other day and they said, what's Babs talking about doesn't pass the smell test? What's he saying? It was somebody from Toronto, I can't remember. And I said, he's saying Brendan Shanahan hired him knowing everything that he's about from the Detroit days. Yzerman hired him to coach the Olympic team. He knew everything he was about. So why is everybody in Toronto throwing dirt on his grave? That's what Babs is saying. So he's not entirely taken at all the BS.
That's right.
Right? And I'm good for him.
He was on the ice with Scotty Bowman after winning a Stanley Cup. I think he's okay with what people think.
At some point, you got to stand up and say, enough. Enough. And I think that's what Babs is doing, and I applaud him for it. We'll be back with more Viewer Takeover and the Face-Off. It's the RP Show, and you are watching on Game Plus TV Network, live on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
IKS Live. IKS Live. Western Canada's premier production services company. LED sign rentals. Video production. Event management. Look no further than IKS Live. Visit our website. IKS Live. Always the best seat in the house. IKS Live.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Look like the pros. Shop Ultimate Fan Zone. NHL, NFL, MLB, CFL, NBA, and more. We have something for every sports fan. Autographed jerseys, prints, jersey stitching, custom framing, and collectibles. UFZ is your one-stop sports store offering fans official team gear. Check out Saskatchewan's Man Cave Corner on River and Main, downtown Moose Jaw, or visit us online at ultimatefanzone.ca. Built by fans for the fans.
Direct West has been the bridge for me from not dealing with social media or digital presence to having a presence. You have to take the leap of faith, so to say. And I'm glad we have. Direct West has helped us out immensely to get our presence online as far as digitally and also with the social media page. To see the results is just puts a smile on your face.
We started Suds Car Wash in 2003.
There's a bit of us in every part of the business. I've been working here since I was about 10 years old. Hard to believe it's been 12 years since. Our parents always taught us about the importance of quality of work and friendly service. And here at Suds Car Wash, we're a family-run business, so it's really important that our customers feel like family.
From all of us at Suds Car Wash, we make your car shine.
It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln. We continue to follow strict COVID-19 guidelines, but we've also made it easier than ever to skip the showroom and shop online. Trade up to an all-new 2021 Ford F-150 Explorer or 2020 Ford Escape and get super low payments and super high trade-in values all month long. Plus, shop online or in-store and shop worry-free with our great selection of thoroughly inspected pre-owned vehicles. It's time to trade and upgrade at Capital Ford Lincoln in Regina.
Bronco Plumbing and Heating, proudly serving Regina and surrounding areas since 1978. We are excited to announce the new Bryant Furnace Trade-in Allowance Program. If you have a working Bryant furnace, 15 years old or less, you may be eligible to receive a new furnace at a discounted rate. If you'd like to take advantage of the Bryant Trade-in Program, or to hear how we can help improve your home, give us a call today at 306-781-2090.
You got something to say? You want to add to the show? What are you waiting for? Don't just sit there. Say something. Now, back to the studio with Rod.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We do have breaking news today. Ben Roethlisberger is officially back with the Pittsburgh Steelers for the 2021 season. The Steelers announced a new contract for the quarterback today, but did not disclose the terms. Big Ben said in a statement issued by the team, "It is my greatest honor to be a Pittsburgh Steeler and give my all for this organization. I am grateful to be at this stage of my career and more than happy to adjust my contract in a way that helps the team address other players who are so vital to our success." Unquote. Roethlisberger was previously under contract for the 2021 season, though the team made it clear he could not return with a $41.2 million cap hit. We're not, I don't think, going to find out how much of a haircut he took on this. And good on him for doing it.
Yeah.
But I ended up watching. This is the face-off, okay, for the Ultimate Fan Zone in the Mad Greek Restaurant. I think it's time to move on from Big Ben in Pittsburgh. It's time. With no CFL football this year, I really delved into more NFL, and the Steelers ended up being the team that I was watching the most because of Chase Claypool down there. And the same goes for a lot of Canadians. Ben Roethlisberger didn't look good. He wasn't mobile. He was firing passes into the dirt. More often than not, he did not look like the Ben Roethlisberger of old. He looked like the old Ben Roethlisberger. And I feel they've seen enough of Mason Rudolph that it's time to move on from Ben Roethlisberger. I don't care how much of a pay cut that they took. You tell me that I'm out to lunch at the Mad Greek, I might add.
A little bit, although I do agree with you that Ben Roethlisberger's plays regressed a lot. And he was holding them back last year. I get that. But Mason Rudolph is not the next coming, I don't think, in Pittsburgh. I just don't have enough confidence there.
Really?
And they're still in a win-now mode, right? With the success they had last year. They're not going into a rebuild yet. You know, if Juju comes back and can get back to the level he was at 2 years ago, and Chase Claypool elevates. They've got a run game. They've got a few things in place. If you think you can win, you got to hang on. And if Ben's the best chance now, great. Hang on as long as you can. Because I don't think they're ready to go full-on rebuild. If you are, then, yeah, you got to move on from him and some other pieces and be willing to take your lumps. But I think they've got 1, maybe 2 years left of this closing window. And if you still think you're in the window, hang on to him.
At some point, you need to move on. And I think it's not going to be now for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but it has to be after this year and move on with Mason Rudolph. By the way, the Face-Off is brought to you by the Ultimate Fan Zone. It's your one-stop shop for the sports fans on your list. Visit the Man Cave, downtown Moose Jaw, or on Facebook. I bought Steelers gear at the Ultimate Fan Zone. I saw a pullover quarter zip on the rack. I'm like, Chase Claypool, brand recognition. And I bought it. You've seen it.
I have.
You got every NFL team's gear at the Ultimate Fan Zone. And for the Mad Greek in Moose Jaw, available for licensed dining, takeout, or delivery, head to the madgreekeatery.com for more information. I had a feeling this was a polarizing issue, a hot button issue, because Jeff, the Stampeders fan, has written in and said, time for Steelers to move on. What is their plan for the future? Oh, I definitely believe Mason Rudolph is the plan for the future. That guy's winning at life. He just spent a week in Cabo with Jeannie Bouchard. Yeah. Ricardo, the Ticats fan, says, I think so too about Big Ben. He's taken a lot of abuse over the years. There was games he couldn't even move. That game in Dallas specifically, I'm like, I don't think he's going to finish the game. Habs for Life in Vancouver says, Big Ben needs help at running back. Love our hometown Claypool, though. Well, they had Le'Veon Bell. At the end of the day, who are you going to hang this on?
Right.
They had all the bits and pieces there, but guess what? Things don't always go to plan. Oh, Darnell from Rockstar says, send a couple of the small Rockstar of the Day hats to those two fabulous ladies. I will, Dar. Thank you. Rockstar of the Day. Can we hit it? By acclamation, we are naming Meg and Shannon as the rock stars of the day. We'll get their address and we'll ship it to them. Thank you to Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions for their ongoing partnership of the Rockstar of the Day. Tomorrow, it's a Football Friday. You all love that. Justin Dunk of 3downnation.com will be joining us with the latest CFL news. Darren Urban from the Arizona Cardinals. He's their writer/insider. He's the Gary Lawless of the Arizona Cardinals.
That's right.
He'll be with us to talk J.J. Watt and John Frenzy. Thanks, Dupes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Make yourself at home. We'll see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central and noon Eastern here on Game Plus. Who has more fun than us?